What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wild and Wonderful Paranormal. This is going to be episode number 2. In the first episode, our first, introductory episode, I mentioned something about doing a compilation video of some previous evidence and types of things that I've gathered in investigations. This will be that. I'm going to try to give a little bit of a brief description about some of these and set the scene for a lot of it and the situation and what have you. So I'll get started with that now. These first sets of spirit box recordings and stuff like that I did was at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum back in July of 2020. This is all of these clips that are coming up were done in one room. It was in a room, I believe it was on the second floor, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a room, and I cannot remember the two gentlemen's names that they mentioned that stayed in the room, but they were kind of like card players, smokers, like the women, that kind of thing. And we got a lot of very interesting voices on the spirit box up there. Some really weird sounding stuff. Some stuff that just couldn't be anything except spirit voices. I mean, there's no way that it's radio interference because it's coming through over multiple sweeps of a spirit box, and if it's coming in over multiple sweeps, it's not just the radio interference. So it was very interesting, some very interesting stuff, some weird sounding stuff. So kind of, some of this is kind of up for interpretation as to what it's saying, because I can't really, still can't make it out perfectly. I tried to slow down a couple of these. I'll play it normally at first, and then I've tried to slow down a few of them after that to see if it could sound any better. So if y'all have any ideas of what you think some of this stuff says, let me know. But here are those clips.
You want to play cards?
Yes. What card game do you want to play? What it said, very simple. Well, hope y'all enjoyed those clips. I thought I found them pretty interesting. I tried to just sort through the ones that I thought were the best. I thought those were very interesting, so I'll be interested to see what you all think about them and what you thought that they sounded like and all that. But the last thing I'm going to include, audio-wise, recording-wise, from the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was by far the best thing that I've got ever, and that's what and one other. There was 4 people in the room. Me, my mom, and 2 other people that we were hunting with at the time that were just there, and we just kind of met them. And 2 people heard this in the room, and 2 people didn't. I was one of the 2 that heard it, and it still shocks me to hear it. Unfortunately, I had the spirit box running at this time, and this actually happened behind like the spirit box. It was like a disembodied type thing, but it was a scream, a disembodied scream. Is what I interpreted as. I mean, it sounded like it was right behind me. I was right in front of a window, granted. However, this sounded like it was literally on the same exact level as me, right behind my head. And we were on the 3rd floor of the building, so there's absolutely no way it could have been anything from the ground because it sounded like it was exactly right behind me. And this was just a flat out scream. I mean, if you listen, you have to really listen to it, but if you listen behind the spirit box running, you can hear it. And it's pretty evident once you hear it once, you'll pretty much always be able to hear it. And, you know, our reaction kind of told the whole story. This was the best thing I've gotten as far as audio recording, that type of thing. So check that out and let me know what you think.
Do you have any remorse for what you did? Oh my God. Oh my God. That was right freaking behind me. It was.
So I hope y'all heard that scream because it's hard to not hear it, especially if you were there. I only wish I wouldn't have had the spirit box going, because if I didn't have that going, it would be crystal clear and it would absolutely probably be bone chilling scary. But that was crazy. That was absolutely insane. But these next few clips are from the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio, and the West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. The first couple are from the Ohio State Reformatory. One of these is from, actually, I don't remember how many's in it, but this is from the solitary confinement portion of the Reformatory, which is widely known as arguably the most haunted place in the whole building, and it pretty much lived up to its reputation. I got some very interesting stuff here. One, I still am a little unsure of what it's saying, but it almost sounds like it's something derogatory. Like, I don't know, I hear like an ER at the end of it, and like it sort of sounds like it could be something vulgar or derogatory, so it'll be interesting to see what you all think about that voice, the spirit box voice. Then I also got one from a different level of the Reformatory that is like literally 4 syllables long, and and like it's probably, as far as a voice that comes through on the spirit box, it's probably the longest in terms of duration that I've gotten in terms of syllables, and that shows that it's absolutely something legit, because like I said, if it was just a radio frequency coming in, the spirit box is sweeping so fast that you'd only hear it very, very instant, not over multiple sweeps and not that long. So it was a spirit voice that I just can't quite make out what it is. So see if y'all can figure that out and what you think. And then from the penitentiary, I had a bunch of recordings from the first time I went there in June of 2020, but unfortunately I don't have those to share with you because it was on a different recorder that I can't upload to my laptop. But this one is from the last time I went there with my girlfriend Megan back in November, and this wasn't a spirit voice or a spirit box recording, but this was recording of whenever we put a REM pod in Red Snyder's cell, and he was, he's arguably the most famous, inmate at the penitentiary. He was stabbed 37 times in his cell. He died. He's the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, the prison gang thing. I mean, he was a gnarly guy. And there's been a lot of people talk about getting reports of paranormal activity in his cell. So I put the REM pod in there and left it for a few minutes, probably 10 or 15 minutes. Then I came back, and we came back to his cell, started talking, asked if he could turn it on, get it going. Sure enough, it got turned on green, as you'll hear on the audio. Unfortunately, I did not get that on video. As soon as I got my video out, started recording on my phone, it stopped. But before that, I did get it on audio, so check that out. So let me know what you all think on this. What do you think these voices say? So enjoy.
That was over multiple feet behind. You're in here. Can you turn that red light green right there? Is it close enough to it? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You saw it had been off, not doing a single effing thing for 10 minutes.
So I thought those were pretty cool there, especially, you know, the REM pod situation there, because that's like an intelligent response. I mean, you can't make that up. So it's very interesting stuff. And that kind of was a nice little segue into the next part of this compilation is I have a REM pod, and I've had some very, very interesting results with the REM pod. And essentially what the REM pod does is that it evokes its own electromagnetic field around the antenna at the top of it. And you have to physically, something energy based has to physically break that barrier to set the alarm off on the REM pod. And the higher that it goes up in terms of colors, it can go green, blue, yellow, purple. The higher purple is the highest it can go. That means you're basically touching it. And that means that there's something that has energy that is breaking that field. And that's, you know, perceived to be spirits, because you can't, I mean, it takes something like your hand or like your body part or whatever to physically break that barrier. So it's very interesting to see. These from the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum have turned out really crazy. One of these is from the medical building. We actually got it to, you know, answer on command. And then the other one, which is kind of insane still to think about, was whenever we sat the REM pod in a wheelchair in the medical building. And this went off by far. This is by far the best REM pod experience that I've gotten so far, a result I've gotten with the REM pod. I mean, it lit up very high colors for about 9 straight seconds. And it didn't stop. It was consistently about 9 seconds. And I don't know if I've ever seen, I mean, maybe on like Ghost Adventures or one of the shows, maybe. I don't even know if I've seen them on there. I don't know if I've seen one period ever last that long. So something was in that wheelchair setting that alarm off on the REM pod. It was crazy. So check that out. Let me know what you think on that.
You can communicate with that device right there on the ground with the red light. Somebody just turned it green not long ago. Can you all do that again?
Yeah.
So yeah, super crazy stuff there. And then we got a look last couple things from this for this compilation. This is more REM pod activity from the Ohio State Reformatory. This was actually in the attic of, I don't remember, I guess it might have been the top floor, but it was the attic. It was an attic above the cell block at the Reformatory, and there was a tour guide up there, and with a group of people kind of just sitting there, taking everything in, trying to hear stuff, get responses and that type of thing. And I had the REM pod up there, and we set it up there, and it was on for a good hour and a half probably. We were up there a long time. And the tour guide started asking it direct questions, like, if you like being up here, light this REM pod up, and then he would say stop, and then turn the REM pod off, and it did that twice. So that's intelligent responses that you can't make up. I mean, it was there that long, and it still did that. And then the other part from the Reformatory was we were on the second level of the solitary confinement part of the prison, which I mentioned earlier, and we had 2 direct responses to our questions about lighting it up. So those turned out pretty crazy there, but especially the one where up in the attic. That part's really good. So check that out. Let me know what you think, and just listen, take it all in.
Can you light that up if you like our company? Alrighty, thank you. Okay, please turn it off now. Thank you. Okay, can you tell us if you like it up here? Can you light it up if you like it up in the attic here? You like it up here? Okay, thank you. Can you turn it off? Thank you.
Intelligent responses.
Can you tell us, are you in, okay,
Let us know that you're still here. That's good. How many of you's here?
Up right there like you just did. We felt you. Can you do that again?
Well, that's all the evidence that I'm going to show, at least for this compilation. I mean, there's some different things that I could have included, but this is the best, really the best stuff that I could find and get that I've gotten so far. Hope you all enjoyed it. I mean, that's just some of the stuff that I'm trying to get more, and we're going to try to get a lot more of in further investigations. I love the REM pod. That's probably my favorite device that I have. I did just get the SB11 spirit box, which is a more advanced spirit box, so I think I'm going to get some really good voices on there. I'm getting actually the Ovulus 5B, I believe it is. That's a word generator. I'm getting that in a few months. I'm really looking forward to that. So, I mean, it's going to be some pretty cool stuff coming up. We got nice investigations lined up. Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, we're going back there towards the end of February. Going to Waverly Hills Sanatorium in April, and as of a few days ago, we'll be going to Bobby Mackey's Music World in Wilder, Kentucky in March. And that place right there, I will be the first to admit, this is actually a place that I would go to that I'm legitimately nervous about, because the stuff that's going on there is crazy, absolutely crazy. A lot of talk about, you know, demonic stuff there and everything. So I'm nervous about going there, which it's a good nervous. It's an excited nervous. But we'll see what happens there, and I got some cool stuff I'm going to break out and everything. So let me know what y'all think about this. I mean, I'm not one that just says everything's evidence. I try to, like, you know, look at every angle of things. But for this stuff, I can't explain it. And when you can't explain it, that's the worst. The worst you can call it is unexplainable. I mean, it's the best you can call it's paranormal, and it probably, a lot of that is paranormal. I mean, you know, certain things, you know, oh, that's somebody talking down the hall, or that's something outside, or that's this, or that's that. This stuff, there's no explanation for it, and that's the way I look at it. I try to look at it scientifically. I mean, not everything's going to be paranormal, but the stuff exists, and that's what the goal of a lot of these shows is to show you that this stuff exists, and that's, you know, what we're trying to do, and I think that's a pretty good amount of stuff right there to prove that paranormal activity definitely exists. So let me know what y'all think about it. Hope y'all enjoyed it, you know, trying to hear some of the voices, what you thought about that, the REM pod stuff. So a lot more cool stuff to come. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.